with news coverage you can count on. You're watching WGAL. This is News 8 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Brad Hicks.
And I'm Kim Lemon. We begin tonight with breaking news. A huge tire fire at a Lancaster County landfill.
It started late this afternoon at the Milton Grove landfill near Elizabethtown. News 8's Christine Stott joins us live from the scene with the latest. Christine.
Kim and Brad, you can see the billowing clouds of smoke behind me. Now, as you said, we are at the Milton Grove Landfill and Recycling Center in Mount Joy Township. The fire is several hundred yards behind us. One firefighter tells us the area burning is about 100 feet in diameter. Here's what happened. Around 4 o'clock, lightning struck one of the piles of tires. Annette Martin lives nearby on Sunnyside Road. She tells us that at one point she saw huge flames, but they were out by the time we got here. At this point, the fire is contained. They brought in 9 tankers to do it. Now, since the tires are still smoldering, an Air National Guard unit from Middletown has been called. The unit will spray foam on the fire in hopes of putting it out. Now, firefighters tell us that people who live in the area really shouldn't be concerned about the smoke. They say the wind is doing a good job of blowing it away. However, the fire chief says it could be a problem, though, if it gets too humid. Back to you.
All right, Christine, thank you.
We'll keep an eye on the situation there. Some of you had some pretty rough weather this afternoon.
We're in the clear for now, but there may be more storms on the way. Doug Allen and the News 8 Storm Team are in the Weather Center with the latest. Doug?
Yeah, we've got several counties in warnings right now, but we want to go right now live to Super Doppler 8 and show you where those storms are. As you just saw Christine and sunshine there in Lancaster County, things are looking okay there, but we've got a concern about a particular cell as we get into Chambersburg area and right around Mercersburg. And in fact, there was a little bit of a rotation, it appeared, right around in this vicinity down in here. These storms are all moving eastbound pretty quickly at about, say, 40 miles per hour or so. So keep an eye on things if you're in the Franklin County vicinity. Severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect there. They will be until about, say, 6:15 or so. Other heavy storms up through Union and Snyder County and onto the West Shore. That means another round of showers for just about everybody before the evening is done. Details of what to expect later on and the 5-day forecast in a few minutes. Brad, back to you.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, even with today's rain, we are still in a drought watch. In fact, the Susquehanna River Basin Commission just got new measurements today, and it's not good news. Groundwater levels are very low, and there are warning signs that conditions could get worse. Here's News 8's Elena So.
I didn't know there was a drought warning or watch.
Wes Schnee isn't alone in not knowing that there's a drought watch in effect. But whether you know it or not, the Susquehanna River Basin Commission is asking that people voluntarily conserve water by cutting their usage by 5%. Wes and Annette Schnee have been doing their part unintentionally by mulching their plants.
Helps to keep the moisture in the soil from evaporating so quickly.
With all the dry weather we've been having, creeks are below their banks, and the Susquehanna River Basin Commission says we're 2 to 2.5 inches below where we should be in terms of rainfall. And that's just over the last 30 days. Take a look at the rivers and streams. They're flowing at 65% below their normal levels. And even after the rain over the last few days, it's obvious in some places on the Susquehanna where plants and rocks are emerging. Those factors, along with the start of reservoir levels dropping and several ground wells below normal, all make for a potentially dry summer ahead.
If the pattern continues, we're going to be right back in our drought conditions.
While mulching and planting drought-tolerant plants may not seem like a lot, every little bit counts.
There is voluntary water restrictions out there, and we'd like people to abide by that.
The Susquehanna River Basin Commission says at least 4 counties in the Susquehanna Valley are showing groundwater wells at low levels. They're Dauphin, Schuylkill, Cumberland, and Lebanon counties. And the commission says that Lebanon County has a groundwater well that they use for monitoring that is at record lows for this time of year.
Wow. What about the storms today and the rain that we got this afternoon?
They said most of that really isn't going to make much of a difference, and we won't really see the effects of that until possibly in the fall.
Wow.
Okay, thanks, Elena.
Well, a small family-owned business in Lancaster County and the family residence are in ruins tonight. Damage from a 2-alarm fire at Adam Zimmerman's Cabinets near New Holland is estimated at $600,000. News 8's Susan Shapiro says family members and employees escaped when the 2.5-story building just burst into flames.
It went 2 seconds, it was up in flames.
Those flames quickly destroyed the building near New Holland that housed Adam Zimmerman's kitchen cabinet shop and the family residence. The fire broke out when a can of paint apparently exploded in the shop. Zimmerman, 5 of his employees, and 2 of his children ran for their lives.
When the explosion happened is when everybody looked and then everybody ran. and then we started moving vehicles away, and that's all we got done.
With the type of building it was, the type of exposures, the paint and stuff being in the building, they were all very fortunate to get out of the building.
Firefighters from 10 area companies poured tons of water from a nearby pond on the rubble. Thick, acrid smoke blanketed area farmlands. It took firefighters about an hour to get the 2-alarm blaze under control. Young Dustin and Jonathan Zimmerman couldn't believe the destruction.
Had pretty much stuff in there I wish I could have back. But it's gone now.
Friends and neighbors watched from the sidelines. Many offered help.
Well, help him clean up, whatever he wants to do.
The Zimmermans have been building this new home on this same property, but it's at least 6 months from completion. But Adam Zimmerman says now they won't finish construction until the business is rebuilt.
It's going to be hard for a while, but we'll make it.
Near New Holland, Lancaster County, Susan Shapiro, News 8.
Now, Zimmerman is hoping he can salvage some of the equipment that was in the basement of the building.
For the second time in a matter of weeks, police in Carlisle are investigating a murder, only this time they've made an arrest.
The victim, a 72-year-old man who died after a severe beating. The suspect, a 31-year-old man who allegedly confessed to it. Here's News 8's Emily Ryan with the latest.
I'm going to miss him. I really am.
This is how Paul Shore's family hopes to remember him, smiling, enjoying his two passions, country music and motorcycles. He was 72, a widower, and for some reason in this neighborhood early Saturday. It's not where he lived, but why he died.
Now I'm just kind of trying to figure out what happened, because Paul was such a nice man. I mean, he never did anybody any harm.
Police say this man admitted beating Shore. Wayne Rideout Jr. allegedly told investigators it all started outside his girlfriend's house on B Street. She claimed someone was looking in her window. Neighbors heard her screams.
She was really emotional. She said, "He's looking in my window again," you know, like that. And that was it. That's all I heard.
Rideout says he chased the man and beat him, then called police. No word on why Shore was there or if he was even near the window in question.
That is somewhat irrelevant, really, in light of the facts, regardless of the fact, even if he had been looking in a window, the response from Mr. Rideout was inappropriate.
And we just want to update something. The police told us the victim's last name is Shore. We just spoke to the family. They say they actually pronounced the last name Soar, and we just want to correct that. Wayne Rideout, the suspect, is in Cumberland County Prison tonight without bail. The man charged with threatening Susquehanna Valley Congressman George Gekas has entered a not guilty plea and is going to stand trial. Edward Devine of New Jersey says he was drinking and watching the impeachment coverage when he called Gekas' office and threatened to shoot the congressman. But Devine later told FBI agents he had no intention of really harming the congressman. If he's convicted, Devine will probably get probation or house arrest.
Well, was it a mistake or was it malicious? The Dauphin County Board of Elections may never know what caused so many problems during last month's primary election.
Election board members heard details today about registered voters casting ballots for the wrong party and independent voters taking part in the primary when they shouldn't.
Well, News 8's Shannon Bryan has been following the story. She's in our Harrisburg newsroom right now with more. Shannon?
Hi, Kim and Brad. It looks like there are 25 votes from last month's primary election that are invalid. Now, that could affect the Democratic race for Harrisburg City Council. Right now, the current tally shows incumbent Patrick Gallagher losing to Patricia Stringer by only 4 votes. Of course, that could change when this is all over.
Have I seen errors that have taken place during elections? Yeah. Have I seen anything like this before? No.
The Board of Elections chairman is not the only one who's surprised by the foul-up.
It shocked me because, well, I thought they had everything run properly and everything. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it.
So what's the solution? The Board of Elections can choose to throw out the votes from certain precincts, downtown and in Allison Hill, where there were discrepancies.
Because it's unfair to us who are true voters. And then somebody do something like this. It hurts me, it really does. And sometimes it makes you not want to vote, you know. But then how can you get people in and out of office if you don't?
One voter has another solution.
In my opinion, I think they should maybe, if they're questioning about how it was done, they should have a runoff. Do it over again, yeah.
It would seem as though that would be a fair way to go, but I found no authority anywhere to have another runoff or to have a special election. I mean, most people would think that that might be the fairest way to go. We don't have that authority to do that.
Some fear the whole mess will keep voters from turning out to the polls next time around. Sheila Russell says, don't worry about her.
A lot of people died to give me this right to vote, and I'm not going to abuse it. I'm going to use my privilege.
Now, the Board of Elections will meet next week to hear testimony from poll workers. Then they'll decide what to do. Just the latest chapter in this story. Back to you.
All righty. Thanks, Shannon. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Still to come here on News 8 at 6. We're going to check back with Doug Allen for the latest on the stormy weather.
And to be or not to be, we'll tell you how Susquehanna Valley students are faring at this year's National Spelling Bee.
DEC.